What's good, everybody? What's good? Wait. Did I got my free conference? I think I'm missing something. Now I think about it, I did miss something. One moment, please. Okay, guys. Welcome to another session here. I'm Zero Ends here. And let me do this. It looks like my volume's working out. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. We are going to begin. I'm just looking at some things right now. At times I was going to stop doing that, but I'm getting used to certain things. Okay. You see the thumbnail, you see the title for today's stream. And let's see. Okay, look, I sound good. But before we begin in this session, I come across certain information, and maybe it's time I should read a page or two in regards to current events and what is to come. So let me do this. I'm gonna turn off. Wait, actually, hold on. Let me make sure everything's set up. All right. All right. Looks like. Oh wait. Oh, I forgot this. Okay, I'm just gonna start now. Oh, damn! This thing's annoying. Let me turn that off. Let me turn off some other links. Let's share, shall we? And as you know, we had to turn to the page this. And for those that be watching or those that be following, please like the stream. What you're going to see and what is read here is this. Lesson number 16, propaganda. Propaganda means to propagate or to make known or extensively some particular phases of human intelligence. Let me read that again. Propaganda means to propagate or to make known extensively some particular phases of human intelligence. The desire to convert or influence the people to the acceptance of the truth of the particular intelligence that is sought to be spread in their midst. Continuing. Propaganda can be true or false in the origins or intent, but is always directed at the public for the purpose of winning the support of that public to the sentiment expression in the propaganda. I'm reading that paragraph one more time for those who nosebleeds all the way in the back. You right there in the back. You up there, back, right back there. Propaganda can't be true or false in its origins or its intent, but is always directed at the public for the purpose of winning the support of that public to the sentiment expressed in the propaganda. If you hate a man, give him a bad name, may explain one of the purpose of propaganda without truth behind it. Nearly all organized efforts have a system of propaganda to convert people to their principles and get them to support them, even though there may be no merit behind it all. Now, as I'm continuing, if you ask question, why do I have this so-called this so-called black man that died now 73 years ago and roughly was born roughly 100 and going to be 136 years? Because the whole premise that is holding the backdrop that will probably make sense throughout this whole video or live stream is to fill in the context of the title ahead between the UK and the American black man, black woman in general. Let me finish read this, and then we're going to go forward to this. Propaganda is all around you to make you buy a special brand of cigarettes. Mm-hmm. Yes. What else? Although no good advertise to be the best to make you drink or use a certain brand of tea, telling of its wonderful qualities and its everlasting benefits when there is absolutely nothing to it, and so on. Before the war of 1914 through 1918, and if I could be wrong, is that World War One? The Germans were known to be the most cultural and scientific people in Europe. When the war started, the other nations so as to discredit the Germans and hold them up the world ridicule and to contempt of civilization, release the propaganda that classifies the Germans as Huns and barbarians, or what they call civilized sensationalize them. This also reveals how organized intent can be carried to the public for the public acceptance without thought. The press, the cinema, the pulpit, or they call it the pulpit, the schoolrooms are all propaganda agencies. Does that sound familiar? When you remove the history, or you're now in process of removing the history of so-called chattel enslavement in the West. I continue. All propaganda agencies for one thing or the other. The pulpit carries on the religious propaganda, the schoolroom carries on educational propaganda, the press carries on written propaganda, and the platforms carry on oral, meaning verbal, propaganda. And the cinemas carry on demonstrative propaganda. These methods have been devised by the white man to spread his ideal universally among men. That is why he is able, in the majority sense, to control the minds of the people of the world. The white man is a great propagandist. He realized full and completely the value of propaganda. You must therefore organize your propaganda to undo the propaganda of other people. If their propaganda affects your interests, the Bible is religious propaganda. The school books is literary propaganda. The novels and books you read are also literacy propaganda, all calculated to bring about certain results beneficial to the propagandists. Never forget, then, that you are surrounded in a world of propaganda, all dresses up or coped up to suit a doubtful public who is not careful with what is digested as coming from without. Let me drink some water. And one other thing. I know this is going to get very boring. And I know this. I don't give a crap, personally. I had to lay out the information now in front of y'all. And as you know, I'm not scrolling on the thing you see on the screen because personally, and let me do this. Personally, I just want y'all to see where this comes from. And if I can remember, this was written and composed back in the 20s, maybe early 30s, before World War II or going World War I, either or, back in the early 20th century. The artist is also a propagandist. He paints pictures to convey the ideals he wants to impress upon the non-thinking and doubtful public. The sculptures is also a propagandist. He chisels figures and portrays them to suit the aims or purpose he wants to achieve. The pictures of the Madonna of Christ and the angels is painted portrays a white race so as to inflict upon the rest of the world that God and the angels and the Holy Family are white, as well as Adam and Eve. Adam, Eve were black, or etc. They also paint the devil and imp of hells as black to impress the world that all that is black is evil and all that is white is good and holy mother of God. I just add that, mind you. Tear down from your walls all pictures that do not glorify your race. Tear up the burn every bit of propaganda that does not carry your ideals or things. Treat it as trash. When you go to the cinemas and see the glorification of others, words missing in the pictures, don't accept it. Don't believe in it, or it is as true. Visualize yourself in what do you call it? Instead, as if achieving whatever is present, and if possible, organize your propaganda to the effects. You should always match propaganda with propaganda, which a lot of people, black people especially, besides non-blacks, you are not using your own form of propaganda. So, in regards to how you're affected in this physical realm we call the world, the earth, or natural world, you're always of not only misinformation if you don't conceptualize it properly, visualization if you don't conceptualize it properly, things you hear if you don't hear or conceptualize it properly, you're always being duped. Have your own newspapers, have your own artists, have your own sculptures, have your own pulpits, platforms, print your own books, shows, motion pictures, paints, pictures, sculptures, etc. etc. I'm just going to skip through that. Keep your homes free and clear of alien objects or other race or glorifications. Otherwise, your children will grow up to adore and glorify other people, i.e., the doll test. Put in place other heroes, noble characters of your own race, which you could now do now. Never allow your children to play with or have white dolls, which we still have today and they still do today, unfortunately. Um, and it said them the ideals of having white children themselves. Give them the dolls that their own race to play with, etc. And also it talks about love and racial purity. Watch the newspapers daily, magazines, and journals for propaganda against your race or your institutions, and particularly against the what they call UNIA of that time, and rush into prints what they call immediately and defend your race, institutions, organizations from any attacks. Never allow an insult propagate to go unanswered by you, i.e., don't let no things that they tell bad about you and let it go slide. Like, your slavery was nothing. All right. Never allow the institute propagate to go unanswered. Oh, be ever vigilant to down anything by ways of propagandize that dishonor or discredit you. Don't help the other following to carry on propaganda against yourself or your race. All propaganda comes from the arranged desire of individuals and not from race as a whole. It is the thinkers and leaders who organize propaganda, and by insisting on its wide distribution, they get other people to think as they like. Don't accept the thought of others through propaganda, except to coincide with yours. Don't follow the hand down the street because it plays sweet music to the propaganda and its circuit management. He may lead you into a circus intent that always your pocketbooks, that is to say, that get you anybody bandwagon that way it drives you into hell with his sweet music, like the Pop Piper and etc. And I'm trying to go through this, guys, so bear with me. Propaganda organized by somebody else is always calculated to take advantage of you. Don't help them do so. Always ask, what is this about? What is the object of it? Who has sent this out? What is he aiming at? Will it hurt me and my race? Is the, is he trying to get an advantage over me? Is it honest? Is it true? The few questions that you should ask yourself. If you ask these questions, every propaganda that comes up before you swallows it. You will always be able to take care of yourself. Don't sing the songs and repeat the praise of glorifying other race. Sing your own songs. And I'm gonna skip down. And always, there's one section to say here. Slaves, if you don't impress upon their own mind, they don't. As Negroes shall never be slaves again. And you always sing, and he gave the statement, never sing to be a slave, etc., etc. I'm skipping down. All right. I can read this part. The idea of the white man's making black a symbol of mourning and sadness is just to show the extreme of the purity of whiteness and its joy and happiness. Reverse it. If possible, teach the Negro that when he is mourning to wear white and when he is in joy to wear black. This is meaning propaganda with propaganda. The latchers with the hatchers, or hatchers with hatchers. The stick with the stick, the stone with the stone. Everything on earth is man's creation, and so are man's propaganda and minds. He has created special systems obtained by meeting his design. And let me scroll down. And yeah, all right, I'm gonna read this last paragraph. The what they call customs thereby or therefore are based upon the acceptance of propaganda. Skillfully engineers have your own propaganda and hand it down the ages. Write your own poetry, receive it, compose your own songs, sing them, write your own interpretations of scriptures, history, and teach them as far as the interception or interpretation of others affect your race. Challenge the thought of any book or literature that dishonors or discredit you in any particular and give it the wildest publicity so as to undo the harm intended. Remember, always that an error not corrected ultimately becomes a fact. Let's read that again one more time. A whole paragraph. Challenge the thought of any book or literature that dishonors or discredit you in a particular and give it the wildest publicized so as to undo the harm intended. Remember, always that an error nor correct ultimately becomes a fact. Remember, always that an error nor correct ultimately becomes a fact. Remember, always that an error nor corrected ultimately becomes a fact. And never allow false statements or allegations against your race to become current and pass into history as it were a fact. Life lessons, number 16, Marcus Garvey. The purpose of that, to get this out the way, and that should be a daily routine on this channel, but I'm not because it's too long. But the point is this. With any propaganda, which they'll make you ask these definite questions, and I will probably put that in my post, should be always challenged and questioned. And personally, hold on. Personally, as you know, these are tools of warfare to keep you in a certain state of mind, thought, and actions that carry over, that will affect you in the future. And let me remove that. So now, as you know, there are a lot of things, current events going around with a lot of men, particularly the black man, how he is allowing, or what is said that he is bringing forth. Hold on. That he's bringing forth outsiders in regards to his plight of his struggles as not only a citizen but a regular vessel human being to function in a society or system that is not created or structured for his self-preservation. And it goes back to going back again with propaganda. Everything that you see is designed is for somebody else's preservation and your demise. So now, let me see. I'm arriving the surprise difference between UK and American black experience. As you know, the thumbnail says it more than anything else. That let's look at this video from this particular gentleman from the UK. I think he's, Caribbean or African, but he's going to go into some things about his involvement with a particular lady, and we had to boil down that is this an overall effect of black people only in UK or just in general? Because when I find people's best interests, majority of black folks are for doing for self and are more individual and more focused on themselves than more than ever, and don't think of the overall, and I mean overall, better interest of the race or black people as a whole. So no further ado, let's play this video.
Video today that I didn't initially want to make, but there comes a time when we're all at a crossroad and have to make a decision. And sometimes that decision can affect you morally, it can affect you spiritually, and it can affect you financially.
So it doesn't affect you more spiritually, financially. Why you as a man, a black man, allow yourself to be affected in those three areas? And with those three areas, that spells for control. And the last thing you as a person want to afford or put yourself in a position is to be under control of anybody without your consent. And personally, I see a lot of black men, unfortunately, are allowing themselves willingly, and I mean willingly, ironically, to consent to be under control by other people, including the female within the so-called group that really runs and controls institutions, but also the mind and the hearts of everybody else. Let's continue on and listen on. Oh, and do I have fair use? I don't got that. Oh well. It's something I forgot. Let me see if I could. Matter of fact, I'll say fair use for now because I didn't put it. Let's continue fair use.
But it's a decision that we can't shy away from. Now, recently, Just Pearly Things has been caught up in some controversy. Why? She has interviewed avid racist and known racist Nick Fuentes. He is also an anti-Semite. What did Pearl do when she interviewed him? What she done was that she laughed with him and seems to agree with a lot of his points.
Talk about instances of like when they initially freed the slaves, there were some slaves that felt so indebted to their owner.
Nice. No, this is the lady right here. And this lady has drawn a lot of buzz lately throughout the internet. And it goes to show that as I read earlier in this broadcast about the power of propaganda. Propaganda is not something that you would take for granted for most people that's not aware of. It is always amongst us. And let me see if I can edit this. I don't want that scrolling. All right. It's always amongst us. Always amongst us. And what is his root is to really play with the intelligence of people. Now, can I say that this is not really factual? Can this man that you see here, could he be making up lies just to push a deeper agenda for himself, or just for the better interest of so-called Black people in the United Kingdom and possibly globally? These are questions you should always ask, and always have a critical analysis when things are put out on the internet. And trust me, we're going to be educated here tonight. We're going to look at all this and look at really the real purpose of it. And let's be honest, as many content creators like myself, I had to sit back and look at really what's real intention of people putting out certain content, what outcomes they're seeking, what results they're looking for. Are they looking for more clout, or are they looking for the greater attention to either two things, to really antagonize and create anger, or to create a different market for pleasing another set of crowd of people? These are questions to ask yourself. But anyway, let's keep going. Fair use.
That they would travel across states to pay them back, and they actually had a really good relationship with them.
Now, if she had said some of these things about the Jewish community, she would have been cancelled in a hot minute. Ask Kyrie Irving. Ask Kanye West. Now, this isn't about the Jewish.
But let's be honest, she has. That's why you saw it in the video. She's a good person that's amongst her group, tribal white people, or talking about these people. And this man is known to be platforms. You see in front of the that or false claims. And the reason I say is because you must bring actual facts. You must bring, you should presenting and pose it as fact. Let's go back to again. And it really works, and how actual warfare game and convince to every white. Fair use.
And so after that interview, apology video, which PR star and
difficulty for some reason. And I'm sure it's doing it now, but don't worry, I got y'all. And this, since you are in the chat room, let me do this. Now, when I give you this, you must be respectful and listen to all my answers. You bring me positive eye. Well, I'm about to start something very valuable. It's something no person that has ever deserved, but you will be the first one ever on Zero Inch. This is working. And as I'm talking, I don't. So, guys, because I'm not gonna have this problem again. Trust me. All right. This. Uh, all right, can y'all hear me? Let me do this. Hello? All right, good. Yeah, I'm having technical difficulties. Yeah, I got you now, positive eyes. This is what I'm gonna do for you, sweetie. Hold on. It's a bad time to have technical difficulties. I don't know why this is doing this now, but you know, it comes to the territory when you do content. This one I'm gonna do. All right, positive. This one I'm gonna do. You will be bestowed upon there you go, positive eyes. Tell me what you see. All right, that's why I give you positive vibes. You'll be the first one on this channel. Okay, let me find the video now. What was the video I was playing? I'm trying to find it now. Oh, damn, I can't find it. Is this one? Oh, yeah, this is the one. So I'm going to send this to myself. I'm going to continue playing because I don't want this thing to mess up on me. All right, good. This should stop it from messing up, hopefully. As you know, you have a wrench. You have a tool on positive vibes. Please be responsible. So let me. Okay, where is the video? All right, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna continue on with the stream.
Before we even get started,
Tell him.
seems to agree that interview, Pearl decided to.
I don't go into interviews trying to interrogate someone. I just.
All right, as y'all could tell, we're back, and I probably will be looking behind different monitors because I gotta see what I'm doing. But as you could tell, that all right. Let me see if everything's all right. We all set. All right. As you can tell, yes, and nowhere I give you instructions how to go about the moderation. All right. As you know, this lady right here once made an apology, but her apology is not sincere. It's actually a lie because she's on another brother's channel in regards to how she did not really was sincere in her apology, and she was going to attack any other content creators that have gone in full detail talking about her, which she is doing right now, and really is for nothing personally because it is very ineffective because it's another form of throwing your rock and hiding your hand. But most content creators are not going to be phased by it because they got things around that. But anyway, let's go into more detail on this. Fair use.
More try to listen and see where they're coming from. In hindsight, that wasn't smart.
Now, I'm not sure what she has in the background. I'm not sure if that's an image of, abstract art or something else. I don't know if y'all notice it. Anyway, let's keep going. Fair use.
And in hindsight, I should have had someone, maybe Sarah Garvey, maybe another content creator that could have pushed back more and really was more educated on the topics that he was talking about than I was, because I certainly was not an expert in any of the stuff that he was talking about.
Now, I've been on social media for a while, and I have done interviews with the likes of Tommy Robinson, Sargon of Akkad, politicians like Lee Jasper, and also Lin May and people from the music industry like So Solid, Mega Man to be exact. Now, Pearl was reacting to my content prior to coming to the UK. And so when she came to the UK, I was very interested in the content that she would actually put out. And it just so happened that she was putting out content that I was interested in, similar to what the late, great Kevin Samuels actually put out.
But you see, she learned how to put out this content because she, unfortunately, has paid not only Kevin Samuel, but I heard she paid a few other black male content creators to how to go about to grow and make more money in this particular sector of YouTube, if y'all not familiar. And knowing this, we have to go back and say, it is at the end a fortunate a black man's fault in this. And I'm not saying no one could come in and you do business and they pay you a service, but when you have to look at the after effects, because let's be honest, if people are not familiar with the guy mentioned, Kevin Samuels, he is one of them content creators that was once a focus on men's self-improvement, now focus on female self-improvement. He has been gone now roughly a period of over 11 months now. Next month will mark the first year since he's been gone off this earth. Because he transitioned on the 5th of May of 2022, Cinco de Mayo. Let that sink in. All right, let's keep going. Fair use.
And I understand it because I myself had been embroiled in court cases and things of that nature when it comes to the mother of my son, and understand that the gynocentric order in which we live.
Have you noticed this man got a African necklace on? Ain't that ironic? I don't know if that's gold. Just saying. Fair use.
And it's something that needs to be spoken about. So when she came to London, she said that she wanted to make a podcast. And I said, no problem. Okay, let's talk about it. And I decided to feature on her show. Now, when I featured on her show, because of my following in the UK, people would tune in. So it's...
Oh, so You have a following already. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Now, they said this man worked for this particular woman for over almost 2 years. And we always got to think that, they said she was growing a following back in the end of the 2010. But my thing is this: if you already got a following, what you were doing, you need another piece, another how you say specimen, another host to suck your blood on to grow whatever you are and get yourself even fatter. And these are layman terms, these are more parasitic terms, but follow me. That she's looking for another host to grow and absorb. Because that's what normally majority of parasites are nowadays. And most non-blacks are parasite to black people, unfortunately. They always looking, seeking, and learning and trying to gather and taking whatever you are, intellectual-wise, spiritually, and even genetically, if give and take. So be careful. Fair use.
Essentially, I helped Pearl grow her channel. Okay, I was on there week to week, and I was working with her based on a fee. So the tragic death of Kevin Samuels happened, and there was a vacuum within the manosphere space. Who was it going to be filled by? It was actually filled by just Pearly Things, along with other content creators. Now, I believe.
But who are these other content creators this man should be asking? Because there are some men in the space that could possibly fill that void. And when I mean void, they're looking for content, ladies and gentlemen, especially ladies. They're looking for that content that said, whoop, that trick content. That content that will express another man sitting there and telling the shortcomings of other black women from ages 18 to up to 50 or even 6 years old. In a way that how Kevin does it, because he's an image consultant, he's being honest. But being honest, we'll take that as a form of bashing. That they don't want to hear it from a man to say, I am too fat, so I must stay fat. You must tell me I look beautiful regardless. Or in point where it says that I want a man that makes $250,000 or more dollars a year, but I don't carry much to the table. That type of thing. That Kevin was always being really honest, because let's be honest, let's be clear. Kevin holds no tongue between men and women when he deals with his consultation. And personally, he should not hold his tongue, because if you're paying a person a service like he is, because he said he is in the business, I know he making money, but to hope to change your life while he gets something in return. Nothing is for free. Whatever you put in, you get some out. And that's how Kevin psychological, or how he thinks and moves as a man, especially in business. Keep that in mind. All right, let me read the chat room. Yeah. Oh, I did not know that. Yeah, she did use her Africans to get on top. Exactly. She did that. He was responsible for releasing this parasite onto the black community. Well, he is the, I don't know if I can say protagonist, but he is that unique vessel where you're supposed to latch on and suck as much resource as possible to make you get what you need. And eventually, when you get enough, you move on to the next one. So that I agree, positive vibes. And I'd like to thank everybody that's coming in on a given notice. Regardless, I had the technical issues. I appreciate it. Please keep liking the video. As y'all watch, have people come in. Let's have this conversation. And depending how the channel or how the stream is, I might open up for more for people's, response or what they thought of. Let's keep going. Fair use.
Believe that the reason why this space was filled is because Kevin Samuels had a large following of black men. And these black men were essentially fed up with the way feminism had taken over their community, specifically their women. So when he died, there was a vacuum and a lot of black men looking for content like this. And it was filled by Pearl. And I believe that Pearl rose to fame because she herself was the opposite of what those men had been seeing. She was a white woman. She wasn't the types of women that they had been seeing. And essentially, she was regurgitating Kevin Samuels' content.
Now, mind you, he did some editing on his own in this particular upload he did. Well, let's clear away from how he made this video. Let's look at the more detailed talking points. The void has to be fulfilled. This one comes around, learns as much as possible from the guy named Hafez, which she paid. And Hafez was part of the Roommates podcast, which she had, I don't know if she had her on her own channel. Even to the point, she paid Kevin to know how to do YouTube properly. And mind you, there's some videos right now of particular black male content creators that's talking in high esteem and high hopes for Pearl. Even to the point they're praising her. Right? And to know say that because she is white and female, this is what is known to be the alleged so-called black male's kryptonite. I think he gets weak in the knees. Yes, and it's true. He is weak in the knees in regards when he is around the non-black woman. Unfortunately. Anyway, let's keep going. Fair use.
So I began working with Pearl, and from the beginning, I started to think that maybe this girl has a colonial mindset. Now, we all know that we don't want to be paranoid, so I kept working with her. However, the more I worked with her is the more that I saw. She had a colonial type viewpoint when it came to black people. And I had to school her a few times on what it was like to be black and the black experience, and also what slavery and colonization was actually like.
Do you think that historical catastrophes must be compensated for?
No,
No.
that's stupid.
So then, I'm not.
Wait, before we continue, you gotta understand. Majority of your white friends or anybody that's white in nature, or the Irish, Italian, or even what is portrayed into the white, or given title that, they are very much astute to the history of a lot of people, including black folks. They study black people. Keep that in mind. They study. They know you more than you know yourself. Never be fooled. Always assume. And there's some that are going to be knuckleheads that's dumb as rocks. They do exist. But keep in mind, as the population, majority of them that have the books, have the institutions, and are, depending on their family background, are reading and absorbing and understanding this information, they are not fooled about your history. Even when you read these books on the average are written by them, and we are reading and regurgitating from their thought and their thought parents of their conception of reality, even including history, whether it's factual or not. It is the role of yourself to really have an understanding of what's in these texts, in these words, what they're saying, what outcome, what's the purpose of why they put certain things in literature, written form for the world to read. Now, someone wrote in the comment section. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna leave that alone. Yeah. All right. Fair use.
I'm not saying I'm not agreeing or disagreeing.
Yeah.
So then, how come there were groups of people that got compensation then?
How come?
For instance, like Jewish people, Chinese people, Japanese people with the bombs. Like there were groups of people who got compensated.
I don't know.
So it wasn't fair.
What? Well, I'm talking.
Now she's gonna play dumb. Said she don't know. She don't know. Really? Really? Now it goes to show that either two things that come to mind, people. Right? She's playing dumb or she's very cunning. And trust me, majority of the European friends who have whites, they know what to say and what not to say in front of you, and what they will not, and what they'll do around their own peers. It's another form of what is labeled or what is called code switching. Keep that in mind. Fair use. Fair use.
Talking about like when I think about group, I think about reparations. So I mean, maybe if the people were still alive today, like I don't know, maybe. But like when you said historical, I thought.
Now, it's interesting. She said if they're still alive, people that get reparations have been long gone and dead for decades, maybe centuries, and getting some form of reparations and aid through the United States government and other countries that, give them their own repair to a set of group people. They're not in the business giving reparations to indigenous Black people. And they should ask the question to Zero, why are they not in the business trying to give or pay what's rightfully owed to Black people? I'll give you my own assessment at the end of this video. But let me read what's on the comment section. She doesn't care. She doesn't want her taxes to go to her Africans. And mind you, positive vibe. I'm going to leave that comment right there. They're already paying taxes. That's the saddest thing. Because let's be honest, your taxes go to a lot of things. If taxation is the concern for the typical American or UKian, then you should do things in your power to how can I limit how much tax I'm paying. Should be the biggest factor. And mind you, because she has her own business, I guarantee she's not paying a lot of taxes. Do not be fooled when people have their own podcasting and have a big following of 1 million or more subscribers or have a studio set up. She is making money, people. And she sets her business, which most people that is young and dumb but do it in the right way, they could bank very heavy and pay less taxes. Keep that in mind. Let's keep going. Fair use. Fair use.
You meant like at the past,
In
not
the
the
past.
present.
Yeah, so like in the past, so like people talk about slavery. So in the past, you know, the Holocaust happened. In the past, you know, the Japanese, but people got compensated for it.
Yeah.
There's a book, right, called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. And when you
we're gonna pause right there. See that book right there? If anybody can get that book, it'll be a good book. It's a good read by Walter Rodney. They deliberately deprive Africa because they need the resource from Africa. That's why they do what they do with Africa. The only nation right now that's looking to fully develop Africa and bring forth to the 21st century is, last month here, is Chinese people, Asian people. But even them you cannot trust, because anything they come in to put in infrastructure that you are unable or incapable to do, they want some in return. There's nothing free for anything, people. Anytime an unknown nation comes in and they're going to present you with a proposal to give you what you want, you must give something in return. And usually what they ask for return is something much far detrimental and expand, which you will see later on in the future, decades down the line. Let's keep going. Fair use.
read that book, you realize that the whole industrial revolution and stuff like that was started because of the colonization. And you just think, well, if you didn't do that, then you wouldn't be as successful.
So, what do you mean by the colonization?
So the colonization of Africa, so both the people and the resources, right? There's a direct correlation between the colonization of Africa and the Industrial Revolution.
Okay.
And so with all the metals and the rubber and all this kind of stuff coming from Africa,
Okay.
it fueled the Industrial Revolution of the West.
Wait, so you're saying like in Africa, when you say colonize, you're saying like did England come in and colonize?
Yeah, like so European, France,
Okay.
Spain, Portugal,
Okay.
England.
And they like enslaved Africans, and
Yes.
that's what you're saying. Okay.
So they enslaved and at least colonized the continent.
Okay.
So
let me go to some comment sections before we continue. Yeah, you read that ready? How Europe stole from Africa? Yep. Okay. Yeah, I like that title. Fair use.
when you colonize a continent and then you take ownership of the resources, you're able to gather those resources together and use them to your own benefit.
Right.
And so you gather those resources, use them to your own benefit, and build up your economy.
Right.
All the while messing up the economy of that actual country.
Right.
So that video was filmed in 2022. And in that video...
All right, we're going to pause here. Let's look at... make sure you guys stay liking the video. You can share the video if you want. Oh, and I forgot. Please leave a comment at the end of this video on your thoughts and opinions on the UK and American situation. As you know, the title speaks for itself, but in broader terms, is UK blacks have it easier than American blacks? Is really the actual title. I kind of tweak it a little bit. And to ask the question, well, let's keep going. Fair use, fair use.
What you saw was me attempting to tell Pearl and show Pearl what colonization was like. How people went to another group of people and took their resources and took what was theirs and built their empire off of it. So when Pearl now plays like she doesn't know what colonization is, and she doesn't know what slavery is, and she says these insensitive statements, in that video, I actually attempted to give her a book. It was called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. I've read it myself. She semi-dismissed that book. She kind of...
And she should, because you're a black man, you're a nigga, she's a white woman. You think she's going to sit there, agree, or even go as far as read the book you present to her? Positive vibe. If you're still in the building, can you look up the book and see who is the author that wrote that book? If you could do that for me, sweetie, if you're still present. But the audacity, the arrogance. But what do you expect? Why she want to invest time and energy to know about your history that she doesn't really, or she really already has an understanding of? Let's start right there. Do you think she really knows or cares? Because when it comes to us and them, they're more thinking of how much I could continue to exploit against you. You're a black man. I see it in the screen. You're being exploited and it's comfortable with your exploitation. We're not no rebuttal. And the sad thing about this is you're coming out the woodwork, and last time I checked, you have now roughly 100K subscribers on your own YouTube channel. And it baffles me that you were up to 50 or more, 60K subscribers, and you jumped an extra 40K or more. And I know you jumped a lot in the coming of less than a few days. What's the story? What's the game these guys are playing, or these people playing towards people that's consuming content? And this is where a lot of people are gonna have to say analyze. And I could say I'm fault for even talking about this, but case in point that once tomorrow and it's already spread, the only thing we could do is use this tool as a learning lesson to understand the real intentions of everything that's being brought forth to a lot of us. And it should not be an old story that black people should still be surprised right now in the first 23 years of the 21st century, the first generation of the 21st century, first 20 years, to find out that racism still is alive and well. If we're at this point as a race people, we might as well hang it up. Personally, I mean, sorry to say, but anyway, fair use, fair use.
Dismissed that book, and then she went on with herself to go and interview a man like Nick Fuentes. Pearl has Africans that work for her. Now, Nigeria has many issues. Now, the disparity in Nigeria has rich and poor people living just on the breadline. And Pearl has these types of people working for her. They edit her videos. They make her thumbnails.
So, look what I have here. This is evidence to show how hard my Americans work.
No, hold on. You forgot, yeah? What? This is how hard my white Americans work.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
They're very hard workers.
Yes.
I like how they work. My white Americans really work hard. You see that?
They inspire us to work harder.
No. Do you know what? They don't even inspire. They're working hard for themselves.
That's a shameful. That is shameful right there. I can't see no. One second, guys. I put myself on mute. Fair use.
Oh, bro. Okay. You know, they're putting in a lot of work, yeah? They put in a lot of work. My white yes. White Americans
you guys should
work hard. Yeah, you can.
So Pearl has taken people on from Africa, which on the surface looks like a good thing. And I guess it is. Africans are being fed. They're taking money from her. They are feeding their family. Amazing. However, with a colonial mindset, this can be quite dangerous. And what happened during that interview with Nick Fuentes was that she used an age-old tactic.
What's that pause about? You can't find the book? You serious, sweetie? Shit. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I got you. Let me do it. I'm gonna look. Keep looking. I'm gonna let the thing play. Fair use. I'm gonna look for the book
That colonizers use, which was the divide and rule tactic. She pitted African Americans versus Africans when she spoke about how hard Africans work compared to how hard African Americans work. And she also used the term, my Africans. Much of what Pearl says is determined by her management, which she has said to me on many occasions that she shares with Candace Owens. So when you have a colonial mindset and you have a management who tell you what to say, what generally happens in my personal point of view and what I actually saw was that she began to start paying people pittance. She began to start offering contracts to people that owned them, just like a colonial master would. Case in point, myself and Pearl sat down to have a conversation about me signing to her contractually. And I want to make this very clear. I have never...
All right, before he goes to... Thank you, Walton O'Reilly. No, I found it. Thank you. I was looking for ChatGPT, and for some reason, ChatGPT does not got... And this book came out... Wow, this book is that old? This book came out in 1972 by Walter Rodney. Let's look who Walter Rodney is, guys. Let me type him up right now. Walter Rodney. Y'all want to know who he looks like? Who's Walter Rodney? Oh man, that's sad. This man could have been, he could have been 70 years old right now. Or actually, he could have been 71 now. He's from Guyana. Let me give you a, let's see, is the picture of him. All right, this is what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna share this. Hold on. Yeah, it was written by a black man. All right, let's look. All right, let me see what pulls up. Hold on. That's Walter Rodney. Y'all see this? Walter Anthony Rodney. Born March 23rd. He is an Aries. His birthday passed a week ago. Or over a week ago. Which, if he was alive today, he'd be 71 years old. He died June of 1980. That's roughly 43 years ago. So he died before he turned. He died at 38. Let me see. Yeah, right, 38 from my head. And that's just count off my head. The book he came out with, this book, when he was just roughly 30 years old. So it makes you question how much work or efforts for a man like him to put as much information he can in a book like that back in the 70s. And I'm looking at this right now in his background. University College of the West Indies in 1960 and was awarded a first-class honor degree in history in 1963. He earned a PhD in African history in 1966 and at the School of Oriental and African Studies in London, England at the age of 24. His dissertation, which focused on this slave trade on the Upper Guinea coast, was published by the Oxford University Press in 1970 under the title A History of the Upper Guinea Coast of 1545 through 1800s, and was widely acclaimed for the originality in challenging the conventional wisdom on the topic. And he became an activist, orator in Tanzania. And he, as you know, it goes further, West Indies, at Mona, Jamaica. He was sharply critical in middle class role of post-independent Caribbean. He was also a strong critic of capitalism and argued that the only under banner of socialism through the leadership of the work classes could Africa break from imperialism. And then, you know, as I'm going down, I'm only going to scroll down, guys, to find when the book was came. All right, right here, Tanzania village, where he spoke Kiswahili, okay, the language of the people. He continued his Pan-African activism and analyzed the cause of the continent underdevelopment. Published a book, European Underdevelopment Africa, 1972. With a views of the Pan-African Congressional of 1974, he prepares a text on the international class struggle of Africa and Caribbean Americans. So let me click onto the book. The book itself, as y'all could tell. Yeah, and you can tell why, because he's doing political stuff. Anytime a man dies at a young age, you always gotta look in the background what really go into his death. One, he's a political activist, so he's really involved in Africa and the Caribbean. And see, he wrote a book on this. And also, it says here, this book, along with Frantz Fanon, The Wretches of the Earth, is probably an example of 20th century books concerning African development and post-colonial theories. So, I'm not even going for it, but this is the picture of the book. Y'all can see it? Good. Let's move on. We'll move on. All right. So let's continue on here. And before I continue, let me see. All right. Fair use.
Signed to the Just Pearly Things network. I have always been an independent. Pearl has known that, and I have known that. And so anytime I worked with Pearl, we had agreed a fee, and I worked for that fee. I have never been signed to the Just Barely Things contracts. However, she has signed a few Africans, namely King Riches and Auntie Jenny. Now, I have no problem with a King Riches or an Auntie Jenny. However, if we look at the contracts that they signed, you would understand the reason why I use the term colonization.
Before we continue, let me read y'all comments. All right. Guyana also produced historians Ivan Serma, author of They Came Before Columbus. This book is about blacks in America before Columbus. Yeah, I've heard about that book. I didn't purchase that book personally because, I had some already awareness of that. I'm not saying I want to get that book, but, I'm not going to buy anything that I already had an assumption that already exists in America to a degree. And, yeah. All right, let's continue. Fair use. And please, guys, as y'all watching, keep the likes up. I'm glad I have some people watching today. And please subscribe to the Zero Ends channel. This is a very tiny channel. It's going to take a very while. Hell, it might take a long time before this channel gets to 100 subscribers, 500 subscribers, and hell, maybe 1,000 subscribers. But with your help and with your dedication, and if you, let's say, like the content or even dislike the content, always feedback is always better. As you know, this channel, we focus on a lot of things. Mostly we deal with the political side of things and the information. As you know, I read a section of a book today, early in this broadcast. You might go back and rewatch this. But that's where this channel more focused specifically. We're going to deal with the information and we're going to make our own conclusions. That's the whole thing, the key that I try to get out of this channel, or what you can get or expect out of this channel. Hopefully. But anyway, fair use.
And colonial. Now, myself and Pearl sat down to have a conversation, and she expressed to me that she wanted to do a new segment for her show. In that segment, she said that she would like me to present a topical news show on a day-to-day basis. So I said, okay, no problem. Talk to me. What are we talking about? And she said she would want me within her studio 4 days per week. I said, okay, from what time? She said from 10 in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening. And I said, okay, well, that is 7 hours. I said, so working 4 to 5 days a week for 7 hours is essentially a day job. I said to her, okay, so what is my guaranteed fee at the end of the month? What is the salary? And she looks at me and she says, we do not do guarantees and we do not do salaries.
Stop right there. We should be thinking people. We should be using our intelligence. Which man or woman, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be watching the stream or that's going to leave comments or isn't present in the chat room right now is willing to sign away and go by this type of agreement? To those that's watching and possibly not subscribing, because if I have like a few less than 10 people watching this, I know you're not subscribing, y'all watching, which is fine. I prefer y'all subscribe and then give your opinion. Which one y'all are going to be down to make that agreement and to give your time and energy in working in a particular studio to engage in putting out content, podcasting from 10 in the morning to roughly 5 in the afternoon, which really is a work day. Which one of y'all are going to be willing to do something like that? Or give your time for no value? And let's be clear. At the end of the day, all we have in this world is time. Can anybody answer this to me? Can anybody give me an answer? As y'all answer, we're going to continue forward. Fair use, fair use.
So I said, so if you don't do guarantees and you don't do salaries, what is it that you actually do? And she said she does percentages. So I said, okay, cool. Well, what's the percentage? She said, Sarah, you're the high end, so you will get 70-30. So I said, fine, okay, let me listen. 70% goes to me and 30% goes to you. Now she looked at me and she said, no. 70% goes to me, Pearl, and 30% goes to me, Sarah Garvey. And that's when I started scratching my head. And
I'm going to read the comment sections, the chat room now. Unreasonable. That's working for free. That's working for free. Wasn't it back in the days of enslavement that they're trying to now work so hard, people, to remove from the textbooks, to burn textbooks, to not teach them, if there ever was teaching this crap in school anyway, to kids, about the effects, the damage, and what slavery has done to Black people, not only in the Caribbean, but also maybe in the UK, and also as bad and dangerous and the worst of all atrocities, what happened here in America. And trust me, the Caribbean was just as worse. So if we had to pick which one was worser, we got to be very much ignorant and stating which is worse. Because once you're a slave and you're a Black person enslaved, your enslavement was considered from the cradle to the grave. And they say that Black people don't need no goddamn reparations, which they're still parasiting and exploiting by our ignorance today. Because this is by choice now. And the dangerous thing about all this, even covering this, is that we today, as a norm, we are very comfortable in our oppression systematically, to the point that we don't think we don't need to do nothing to change nothing. And this shit is going on in the UK and also happening in America as well. Don't be fooled. Do not be fooled. There are 360 deals in America. Are you ladies just remember that what 50 Cent has done in the record label business, that they had to sit there, these same corporations, music business corporations had to put things in paperwork now, so that way they can still profit off you, so you don't be able to make any money outside these labels? I've known one particularly young artist that could have been an artist signed to a major label, but she draw back from going ahead to sign that contract. But when she read the contract, and this is why, and I'm gonna say this, this is gonna get really fucked up. I gotta be honest with y'all, because I gotta be real with y'all. I gotta be real, y'all. Majority of Black people don't know how to read. Yes, I had to say this. They said we could read, but overall, when we look at the education that we go to these institutions, we are not properly really educated to know the real basics from the levels of the things that really is a necessity for our development to function in a very much highly technical society. Math, arithmetic, reading, and comprehension. They said the Black males in America are still in between the 5th and 6th grade level. I heard it went up a little bit. Cause one time years ago it was a 3rd grade read level. Now we up to the 4th and 5th grade, and I can't make out if that's even factual. So if the Black man is not reading at level, how is certain that the Black woman is reading of level 2? And the person I'm telling you that did not sign a contract was a woman, but she made sense to read the contract. And mind you, have y'all remembered the few female artists here in America, like Megan Thee Stallion? Y'all remember her? How she was complaining about her contract she signed with I think Texas. I forgot what the name label that she was signed to. How she was gypped on that. Y'all remember that? But if you look at her track record, she does got a degree. But the rumor is, what I'm hearing now, and this is not rumor, this is a fact now from what I'm hearing now, is her close friend helped her get that degree. I think her name was Chelsea. So when she's complaining about the contract she signed, listen to me good. This is not trolling. If you feel you were gypped, the thing that comes to my mind, let me take this off. The thing that comes to my mind is that you did not either do two things. Either you made the conscious effort to read the contract when you were in your 20s before signing, or you don't know how to understand what you're reading and you're not able to comprehend, or you don't read well enough that you just looked at it and signed it. And I'm going to tell y'all this personally. We need to stop doing that. For your survival in the 21st century, you must know every action you take is going to be opposite equal reaction. That it is going to benefit you or it's going to destroy you. Do you understand? Hope I'm clear. I had to be passionate about this because this man, I'm not sure, I think he did sign a contract that said if she's making 70%, you're making 30%, and you're not getting a decent wage every time you go in that studio 4 days a week, 7 hours a day, and you're only getting paid by percentage, you are getting fucked. How we know? Because you don't know how much you are actually racking on a good month if you are streaming and podcasting on her studio. You're not looking at the back analytics. You're not looking at the actual revenue in the YouTube studio, how much she's accumulating. Talk to me. Listen to me. You don't know. You just don't know. All right, let me read y'all comments before I keep going. Let's see where. I see a new person. Oh, okay, well, that's good. Look like Chanel's in the building. All right. Fair use.
I said, hang on a minute. So are you telling me that's a high-end contract for you? She said, yes. And I said, so are you saying that Just Purdy Things Network has other people on low-end contracts? She said, yes. I said, King Rich's and Auntie Jenny? She said, yes. I said, what's the low end? She said, it's 10 to 15%. So essentially, she could be owning 80% of the content, which is basically the monetized views on somebody's channel, and they only take home 15% of the money. She said yes.
Wait, 15% up. If it's 100% out of 50%, if my math is right, she's taking home 85%. Yes, that's highway robbery. Especially not counting the commercials that people are clicking in. My God, you're getting screwed. Shit. Fair use.
I said, Pearl, how long are these contracts for? She said 3 years. So I said, let me get this straight.
Wait. That's almost. Listen. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. I gotta sync this in. 1 second. I'm sorry. I had to just sit back and suck that in. In America, for a black person, on the average, most people that work a job, and this goes across men, and we could say for women too. Usually, average is like what, 2 years employment. 2 years. I mean, and to do 3 years, you got to do the math. Working for that type of percentage and that type of so-called income for 3 years. And we got to count, this is YouTube now. And if we look at her channel, since she paid these so-called low-level Africans in the UK this wage, matter of fact, this is worse than Walmart. Now think about it. Do y'all agree? I think this is worse than Walmart. I could be wrong. But for 3 years, I'm doing the math. If you're a content creator and you're starting off like what she did, let's say she was starting off fresh and she hires people and she's already at, let's say, 20 to 50K subscribers. You don't know the projection of her channel in the next year, much less 2. And if my math suit me wrong and they were under contract, I would have to assume since 2020, and I'm just guessing, I could be wrong, but I can guess. They said she was at 500K subscribers or less than 500K subscribers before 2020, right? Now, if you look at her channel, if I could, last time I checked, matter of fact, I should probably look. Since I'm on here, let me type her up. Let me type her up. Okay, you know what her sub count is now, people? If she was under 500,000, 500K in 2020, she is now roughly up to roughly 1 million and roughly almost 400K subscribers. So she grew an additional 500 or 300, or I would say my math, if you're up to 500K in 2000, that means each year, and let's do a calculator. How much would it take her to reach? So if she receives 1.138, she will have to grow an additional every year. Let's see, divided by 12. She will have to get or gain no less than every year. Let's say 339K a year of subscribers. And if I'm right or wrong, let's say if I take 339, let me clear that. Let's say she gets 300 and let's screw it, 375,000 more subscribers a year. Times 3. No, that's wrong. So let's try another math. Let's try 412 subscribers a year times, let's say, 3 years. That's, oh wow, that's not even right. All right, let's try 510. All right, I'm over. So the rough estimation, she need to gain what she'll grow every year with the subscriber count she had, that's roughly around 500,000. She'll need an additional, let's say, 45. Okay, somewhat right. Matter of fact, no, I'm wrong. Let's make it 4. I'm just guessing, guys. So bear with me. Let's say 48 times 3. That looks roughly right. So I'll say she grows an additional 446 or 47. And really, we're still early. The year is still new. We're still in the first quarter of 2023. She gains an additional 440 something thousand subscribers a year. So if you work for her with a percentage and that little stupid little wage, you give her an additional 440 something thousand subscribers a year, which your work efforts, you're showing up, producing for her for free for 3 years. That's the amount she'll gain. Ain't that crazy? That's crazy. Anyway, let's keep going. And I have to do this because I had to see the math, regardless the math was clear or not. But anyway, fair use, fair use.
You want to own me for 3 years to take 70% of my ad revenue. Keep me in your studio from 10 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening for 4 to 5 days a week, and you are not guaranteeing me any money. I said respectfully, for what reason would I work for your company? She said, because we have a great studio.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to compose myself. This is ludicrous, man. This is really ludicrous. This is ludicrous. Are you serious? Are you really serious? This is what you have to offer the black man and black woman that works for you, Miss Ann? I think they call her pasty, but you know. All right. That's what you have to offer? Nothing? But say, I got a good studio, so why not give me your intellectual property for free? Wow. And they took that offer? Bro. Fair use, fair use.
And we have great lighting. And we have great editors that will edit your stuff down. Now, I may be a lot of things, but I'm not an idiot. I may be cool, I may be calm, I may be collected, but I'm not a fool. And essentially, the colonial mindset of Pearl has people working on her quote-unquote plantation for absolute pittance, when a year ago, I suggested to her to look into exactly what colonization was, and she acted dumb.
Guys, people say
no, she did not act dumb. She acted in her own nature. You're just a fucking idiot. And personally, I'm getting very irritated. I don't want to cuss, but I gotta go there. And it goes to show, why is black people still trying to teach racism to white folks? It's evident they know what they're doing. They're not stupid. I gotta look at the intelligence of a lot of people, especially black folks. That for you to sit there and have to educate another group of people of what is racism, white supremacy, all this nonsense, that blue blah 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 blah, it lets you know how much of common sense you have as a person. That's a waste of time. A colonial mindset is always within them. The only thing is, you as a black man or black woman, you got to understand when you're getting screwed. And are you going to be down for the extra screw or not without Vaseline? That's a choice that is laid on your lap. Fair use. Fair use.
that stuff about me. They say I'm sexist. They say I'm a misogynist. And, I really just like to give people the benefit of the doubt when I interview them. I don't go into interviews trying to interrogate someone. I just more try to listen and see where they're coming from. In hindsight, that wasn't smart. And in hindsight, I should have had someone, maybe Sarah Garvey, maybe another content creator that could have pushed back more and really was more educated on the topics that he was talking about than I was, because I certainly was not an expert in any of the stuff that he was talking about.
Now, I grew up in a time where there were brilliant R&B girl groups like TLC, and also brilliant R&B artists like Toni Braxton. They both sold millions and millions and millions of records, but they ended up broke. Why? Contracts. They were signed to contracts that did not favor them. And essentially, what Pearl is trying to do is come back in with the same contracts and do the exact same thing to the manosphere and do.
Now, I'm not sure if I could agree with that, because let's be clear. Let me make myself bigger. Let's be clear here. Let's be clear. And I'm going to read your comment in a second, people. She could never do what she did here in America and get away with it scot-free with that type of offer. We got to put more respect to people in America. And this is why I don't respect people that is black outside America, don't understand the experience, how people go through shit here in America. Yes, you have it bad in UK. I understand it. You got guns, you got knives and batons, and yes, racism everywhere. But over here, this is like the belly of the beast. This is devil in flesh. The stories, the books you read that goes on here doesn't really equate what really goes on here. Let's get that straight. So there's some way in God's green earth she could have pulled that same crap, those little deals and contracts she has for most of the people that's Africans, that's actual Africans and Caribbeans in United Kingdom, UK. She can pull that bullshit over here. No person, man and woman, no, in general, is going to take that deal at all. There's a lot of things that Americans are known for, black people in general. But one thing is evident, they're not going to get played and gypped like that. But to find that majority of people in the UK will, and it goes to show you about the educational system. And I'm going to tonight. A lot of people would expound that United Kingdom education is much better and superior. And it should be, depending which country you go to, personally, that it is somewhat better. And how we know, because we could go through the data, which, in regards to the training system, I don't call it education, training system, which one, where it ranks in the top 1 to 10%, or bottom 50%, or wherever you want to call it. America right now, we are almost dead last in education or training. Every other country, on the average, is either up to 15 or 10%. I think UK is like up there, maybe better. Let me as we talk, I'm going to do this. I'm going to look it up, but I'm gonna find out what is the top 10 countries in regards to education, and I'm gonna see where UK, United Kingdom, stands, or where it stands, the United Kingdom. So let's continue. Fair use.
The exact same thing to the red pill community. Why? Because Kevin Samuels left a gap, and Kevin Samuels' fan base was predominantly black men, and Pearl has come in there and attempted to be top of the food chain. I will not be a part of this game, and I will not be a part of this colony. I have always been an independent. If people in the UK who can actually say and watch all of my content can say that I've been around before Pearl even arrived in the UK, what would I look like signing my life away, essentially, 70% of all I own, to this woman who just arrived in the UK the other day? She said to me that she's actually looking to sign more talent this year. Good for her. Good for the talent. But I hope they watch this video, and I hope they realize exactly what they will be signing. And I actually hope that this video makes her think about the ways.
All right, guys, let me give you the top countries right now. And thanks to help with the AI. It says here the top countries in education can be determined by various measures such as literacy rates, enrollment rates, qualities of education, international test scores. Here are some of the countries that consistently rank high in education. Number 1, Finland. That's in Europe. Number 2, Japan. Hold on, let me do this. Number 3, South Korea. Number 4, Canada, surprisingly. Number 5, Switzerland. Number 6, Netherlands. Number 7, Singapore. Number 8, Hong Kong. That's in China. Number 9, Denmark. And number 10, Norway. And I said it's important to note that education is complex and multifaceted issues, and there is no one-size-fits-all solution to improving educational systems. Each country has unique challenges and approaches to education, and it's important to consider educational systems. I hope that was clear for y'all. And this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna Google this and see what Google tells me. And it says the same thing. But usually ChatGPT says otherwise. It said Australia is one of them. Kenya, Hong Kong, Trinidad, Sweden, Ireland. Yeah. And one thing about this, if you're born in Africa and you move from Africa to United Kingdoms, you're not gonna get no quality education from the looks of this right now, unfortunately. But it said the other country that's top countries of education, Nigeria is one of them. It's not really the top, but it's somewhere around that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah. And I'm looking at this now, and I have to look at this. And some of these things are telling lies. United States is not the best education in the country. Yeah, this is a lie. United States is not number 1. I'm not sure where they get this rank from. We are not top of the rank. And this is why you have to be careful. When you Google something, it's going to tell you otherwise. America is not top because they don't invest enough money in education. And you know the quality of education, how much you spend on education. And if we look at the budget will say otherwise. And when I did the top rating of education, it's totally different from the AI from this. Yeah, so this is a bias. This is not really consistent. So I'm not going to look at that as factual. I'm sorry. And let me go even in more deep detail. And this is number 2022. Yeah, and it's giving me different results. This is why you have to be careful of Googling. And it said here, United Kingdom is number 1, which is a lie, because is that true? People in UK will be more smarter in regards to understand what they read before they sign any deal. Yeah, this is not factual. I'm done. I'm done with this. Yeah, I'm done. I'm not gonna waste time about this. All right, let's keep going, guys. Let me finish this video up, guys. That's why I have to be careful, because and the reason why I'm doing this, people, because it's a testament that when we talk about the quality of education, regardless of how much money you spend, your best bet teaching your own children, or reinforcing, or really teaching outside the classroom what your children should be knowing and learning. That's the best way. Bet your children going to really get the real knowledge and understanding. You're going to have to put in the time and energy as parents, both the mother and father, especially mothers. Ladies, you got some work to do. That's all I gotta say. But before I continue, let me read the comment section. Why should I work for you for free if we have a nice office? Yep. Black Master was supposed to be for black men working out their problems. She came in, exploit black men becoming the problem. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'll do this. I doubt people are gonna come up, but I'll do this now. I'll put this in the chat room because this video is about to be done. All right. Fair use. Fair use.
Because essentially, I had been with her from the beginning and I had helped grow her channel. And if she could suggest this to me, somebody who helped her grow her channel, then you are nothing to her. I have only given you around 30% of what I know. We haven't even touched on the very odd and weird parties that Pearl likes to invite people to. And I was invited to one last year, and she told me that her manager was coming from America and they were going to have a party. And very interestingly, they said that it was going to be board games. And I said, okay, cool. I don't mind playing Monopoly. I don't mind playing Snakes and Ladders. When I got there and I asked her about the board game, she said, no, a board game. There was.
I'm not sure what he means by board games. I hope they're not doing no swing party. Cause you know, like Europeans, non-black people love to swing, and engage in what they call the thing cuckolding behavior. I'm just saying. Fair use. Fair use.
A whiteboard in the living room, and what she proposed was that we all have a time on the whiteboard and we do what she says and we talk about certain things which were quite sexual and we put them on the whiteboard. But you know what I saw? I always saw her manager Kobe in the corner filming everything. And we've all spoken amongst ourselves and we've spoken about Hollywood and the things that go down. And within that party, what I saw was if people were on that board doing very sexual things and doing things while they were drunk, that stuff was being recorded. But we'll speak about it another time.
All right, that's it. I'm not really concerned about the parties. I mean, if you work for non-black people, you're gonna expect you're gonna be exploited most likely, and you're gonna be volunteer to be in these parties, these cuckold parties. I wouldn't be surprised, women like Pearl are having her entanglements. Yeah, a lot of entanglements. But anyway, what can I add on to all of this? I'm thinking. I should have said it earlier in the stream, but I will say this. In regards to the answer to this question, both struggles are one and the same. But here's a catch. Here's the difference. The experience is different. Very different. Here in the West, where we live at, America, there's a form of exploitation, but also with violence, aggression. And I'm talking about not just using regular simple tools, weapons like shooting pistols. A lot of graphic violence happened to black people here. That's not always covered throughout the news. You always hear about the black and white violence, which is there, but it's much deeper than that here in the West. The institutions are ridiculous. Yes. Oh, yes. My thing. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Suck you bus parties. Succubus. There's a lot of succubus. Of course, positive vibes. Oh, yes. What's good, JT? Coin rings. That's good. A lot of that, yeah, and you know, positive. They're very well accustomed to really, you know, giving fellatio and you know, having a good time. Yeah, yeah. But the struggles that Black people suffer here in America and what Black people in UK suffer, and there's not really anything easier. The only thing that's the difference, personally, is the type and extreme violence and aggression. As you know, Black on Black Violence, written by Amos Wilson, very powerful piece. He explains how it affects the mind and psyche of Black folks, Black men especially, in regards to servitude of white male domination. Oh, guys, make sure you hit the like button. And what you see today is no exception to the rule. Nothing has changed. I noticed that there is a brewing conflict between us and everybody else outside America. And be careful of that. Just be careful. If you look at the ones that work for Miss what they call it, Pacey or whatever you want to call her, she's taking under and employing real impoverished Black folks from the Caribbean and Africa, especially. And we all know Africans are very gullible. They're very much receptive to working with white folks, without no question. A good portion of them. Just like here in America, we have the problems here, but usually outside America, it's a little bit weirder, strange, problematic. Because, you know, if you're coming from a third world country, you manage to get some form of work that will give you somewhat of a decent wage, you're going to take it, regardless of the integrity or the morality of the person that you work for. That's just the honest truth. If anybody want to come up, I put the link in the chat room. I'm gonna give this a few more minutes. But really, truly, this should be a lesson to learn. And for all y'all that's working or living in the UK, I hope this resonates with y'all personally. As you know, we out here in America, us out here in America, we know the drill, we know the story, we know what it is. It is your responsibility as a Black person, if you have a certain hate or disdainful hatred for Black folks, that you should know what you're getting into. It is your responsibility, personally. And I say this because you're gonna find more women like this, or any person that's trying to set up shop. They're going to exploit and use you. They're going to suck your blood. They're going to be parasiting over you, and they're looking for the greater outcome without putting little effort or any input towards you. A 70-30 to 10 to 90 to even go as 15 to 85 deal with this lady is not, I repeat loosely, not a good deal. I don't know any person that's stupid or smart willing to take that type of deal. I wouldn't. And I suggest you don't do the same as well. All right. I'm just looking at some things. So, you know, that's pretty much it. I think I spent enough time on here. I hope y'all got some out of this. You know. Oh, yes. Let me put that there. Always, please like and subscribe to this channel. Oh, did I tell y'all I got TikTok now for Zero Ends channel? Let me find the link for that. I'll put that there for those to follow me on TikTok. 5 minutes. Miss Vibes, I have to step away and end this. I'm not sure if I'm gonna wait 5 minutes, personally. Let me find my TikTok. Let me share you my TikTok. Where is it? Hold on, guys. I'm trying to find it. Let me find it and post it in the chat room for you. Because that'll be important. Where is my TikTok? All right. All right. Oh, I found it. Okay, so this is the one. And as y'all know, there's a video up on here on this channel and on TikTok as well. So if you would so kindly watch it and give me your take on it. All right. This is the Zero Ends on TikTok. I'm not sure if I'm going to create a Twitter for Zero Ends. I got to see how much subscribers I get on this channel before I decide to create a TikTok. I'm sorry, to create Twitter. But follow me on TikTok. You know, follow me there. Share that. I'm gonna throw some short uploads over there. You know, gotta start growing this following. As you know, a lot of work go into this. You know, another thing I could look forward to besides possibly making some out of this is to grow the following. So best thing guys could do for now is to follow me and share as best as possible. That's the only thing I could ask for you for now. I don't ask for nothing special or big. I mean, that's simple. I don't think it costs you anything. Last time I checked, I could be wrong, but what do I know? All right, so that's my TikTok link. Follow me there. Also, I have the video you see on TikTok. I also have on this channel as well. So let me post the video on this channel as well. I don't want to forget that. Hold on. Post the latest video. And let me see. Did I say right? Comment? Let me see. Oh, damn. Yeah, I want y'all to leave a comment on this one. Especially this one. Oh, yeah. You got to leave a comment on this one. All right. As this thing loads back up. Where is it? So, yeah, this is the last one. Yeah. All right. So let me do this because it's now acting up, and I don't like this when it starts acting up. I got y'all. Hold on. Okay, here's the video. And also look forward to next episode of the American Negro Slave Revolts. As you know, one of the videos, I guess it has like a 18 over rating. One of the videos, which I don't know why that is. I'm not sure if I could do anything to fix that, but like I said, wait, oh, Lena?
Oh, damn. I forget what
You're not ugly. Stop it, Lena. Stop
I forget
it.
what straight right was on. Normally it's like that, like, let me see your face.
Afraid to see your face. Let's see. We already seen you. You might as well cam back up. See, Zena. Come on, Lena. You just already bro. Just let everybody look. Just wave one time. It ain't gonna kill you. It's not gonna kill you.
Cam up one time.
Yeah, and wave to the people, man. Come on, we here.
I'm gonna get dragged.
No, you're not. Stop it, sweet. Stop it. You're a very important part to the Zero Ends channel. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It would be nice, just one time for Zero.
Okay.
All right. Tell me when you're ready. All right. Let me do this. Wait. Say wait. Say again. Say hello.
Hello.
She is. Oh, everybody knows she is the moderator now on this channel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's gonna be a lot of work, but I think you're up to the task, Lena. All right. You may turn on the camera. All right, good. See, look at it. See, nice, beautiful woman. Look at that. Very nice. She's smiling. She come from work and all stuff. So overall, Lena, since you came up, what is your overall view on the stream from your
I feel so childish, like my views on this one. I feel like, see, I'm right. I told you so. I told you so. I really felt bad that I felt the way, and I was like, okay, am I feeling this way because she's white and she's saying this? And it's not. It's true. I saw it as a grift. I saw it, and I've seen other white women that had views like she did, but I really feel like they really believe in what they were saying. They're not making a profit on it. They're trying to make change, or they're advocating for men. And I felt like when I listened to Sarah Garvey, I felt like, why did she go 30-70 and she's not providing anything. She's just sitting there, I feel like, being taught by him. If anything, he should get more money. He's the one teaching her.
Yeah.
So I really saw the grift, and I didn't believe, she never came off as authentic, and I never believed that she believed anything of the things that she was saying at all. It's very few women in that manosphere, Black manosphere, that I believe that they believe what they're saying. The only person I believe that they're true, believe what they're saying, is Crimson Cure. I really feel she believes, and she's very authentic, and I really believe she advocates for Black men. I will give her that.
Okay. I heard she did a live stream about Black women and white women. I'm going to go back and watch that stream because a lot of male content creators, some of them were taking notice of that, and some of them were not pleased. But they forget that Miss Kendra D, aka Crimson Cure, is a Black woman, a Muslim Black woman, and she wants to see Black women, because she is Black woman herself, do better, function better in society with not only herself, but with other Black women, but also with Black men. That is her focus, you know. I'm not sure in the future I will have her on, because, as you know, she's in a different atmosphere. You know, she's in a different parameter. But for the sake of conversation, whatever she's doing now, she's doing good works. Matter of fact, she wrote a book. She got a book that come out right now. You know, so my thinking is that she's gonna be that replacement woman. Like I think if Shahrazad Ali transitions, right? She'd be the better replacement, because what she does now is more geared to the 21st century modern day woman today. You get me?
Yeah,
Because
I agree with you.
and think about it, she's gonna be more involved because of social media and digitalization. See what Shahrazad did back in the day? We didn't have the internet. She has to go to places, do speaking arrangements, have to film. If people want to know who she is, they gotta look her up and Google her.
Oh,
Not
I
Ken.
remember her. I remember her being on the talk shows. She used to wear like I don't want to say Queen Latifah hats, but that was her covering, and not the traditional Muslim coverings that you see. But yeah, I'm familiar with her. I thought she's interesting. I don't agree with a lot of stuff. Like, if you ever pay attention to me, I'm more, pro-Black, B1, BWE, and I really love the Black community. And I know we have problems on both genders, and I think we can work together, hopefully, to solve them. That's how I feel. But I didn't like how she's like, oh, it's okay to cheat and blah, blah, blah. I feel like they don't address the issues with cheating and how to heal. They just say, oh, accept it. And I didn't like her feelings on that. Oh, he's gonna cheat, blah, blah, blah. I was like, are you serious?
I'll go even further with the cheating aspects, and I don't want to divulge from the topic at hand. But I remember another content creators, two ladies specifically, you might know who they are, might not. I'm not going their names, but one woman, she said she is married to a Muslim dude, and in the culture of Muslims, they do known to have more than one woman on average. And really, it's just general. We talking about the Black community. We're running operate through polyamorous behaviors anyway, rather as a good or bad thing, unfortunately. But in regards to her fate, he lets her know personally, because she admits on live air that her husband knows that, at the end he makes a decision, and that certain things that, if he wanted, he could have another wife person, but at times he's not gonna be mode one with her. I'm gonna have more than one wife, and I'm gonna bring forth wife here. You get me? So even that, regardless how women say they don't like it, either they like it or not. Other thing is, only a few men have the capability to get away with this, if they're being honest or not. You get me? Not every man is going to be able to, be in a relationship and have a woman on the side without their own respectful woman, their baby mama or wife or wherever they, you know, relationship they have, is not going to know that. You get me? And be cool on the average, you know? So, when you find out somebody that's either being honest or lying to or etc., you have to make the call, either you're gonna stay or go, personally. I mean, it's hard to tell women if they should stay or go in regards if the man's gonna cheat or not. You have to make that decision for yourselves, I shouldn't tell you, say, you need to stay, you need to go. I'm at a point right now, I'm not gonna tell people what they should be doing. It's like this: if you feel it's not cool and you feel you expect more, or even the point where he's not being honest, I mean, you have to make a conscious decision if you're gonna deal with it or not. And notice it, if you decide to deal with it, there has to be something put in place. If that can't be respected, then obviously you left all things to the table. You put all answers and solutions to the table. If it can't be resolved, or you say, if you go do this rule, if there's nothing put in place for this type of behavior, if let's say the dudes are gonna be doing this, then you give them free range for chaos and anarchy. And that's what we need in our development as people or in relationships, is more chaos. You get me? If you're gonna be out here slinging cock on every woman, and you make a decision, or you had to sit down and talk about this, if he's not cool to really adjust to this, don't stay around. Period. Regardless of the situation, I don't care if he's doing good in life, money wise, or he's that nigga that's attracted to other women. You have to have some respect into this relationship. You get me?
I agree.
And I think that's what we lost sight of things. See, people. See, my thing is, if women accepting dudes that's able to get women like that and cheat and just doing things like that, I look at them, that's on you, because you have to sit there. If you feel, and listen, Lena, anybody that's in a relationship a long time, right? You gotta know where your man stands and what he's able to get, what he can't get. You get me? If he's that dude that you can look from head to toe and look at him and really quickly think that this dude, he has these options and these women are going to flock to me. He's going to be very weak in these. He's going to be giving up the goods to these women. You better have that sit down conversation immediately. Because let's be honest, Leah, a lot of dudes, you hear they talking about they want to lead, right? But they're not going to be honest of what their intentions are. Correct?
Correct.
So it's better off you step in and lay it out right there and there. You get me? Because once you do that, now it puts the ball in his court and say, now he has to be very much react and behave accordingly. If not, listen, I don't have to tell much about it's easy nowadays, dudes slip up. Now for as men, when we find say women step out, it's a little bit more challenging because let's be honest, a lot of dudes not really thinking on that because a lot of us are too much involved. We're out in the world trying to be productive. Last thing we want to worry about is if I had to worry about I'm going here to work and my woman's going to go sucking that man's cock. No, they're thinking. You get me?
I agree.
And mind you, there are some men that's controlling. Let's be honest. My only sure advice, if this dude that's constantly always worrying about your actions, moving, if you're doing this, that right there, ladies, let's be honest, that's the biggest red flag, and you shouldn't be messing with him. Because he has to have doubt for every movement you do, and he's out there supposed to be productive, working. You shouldn't bother deal with him in a relationship wise.
Where were you like a few years ago? Telling me this.
No, I'm just being honest, because those are typical type of relationships, as you know, are easy knowing that it's going to get violent. That's evident.
I agree. I didn't get the violence really, but I got the
no, but it's controlling. And eventually in time it can be violent. I'm not saying it's always going to be violent, but those ones is evident that violence is going to be the end result. Because let's be honest, let's say you want to walk away and leave it. You hear these dudes talking this nonsense. You better leave it because I'm going to do you something. You hear these little frets, right? Or this dude. I heard women say one time if they had a child with this crazy nigga that said, my baby dad is crazy. You thinking that me as a man gonna deal with a man that's crazy, that I gotta put myself in harm's way to kill him and go to jail? Really?
Right.
Now, some women don't like that. Some women glorify it. They kind of like that because it really gets them real wet. Because I know saying, another man's fighting over them. And
no, I don't like that.
She could do is knock two birds with one stone. You think about it, and some have successfully done that. Put a man in a certain position. Because some
like
they don't have to. Let's say the big draws, the ladies, to really end the relationship and let the man move on. They're gonna try to put him in a position where he can get either harm or go to prison or lose his life. And some ladies today could do that, and some have done it. You get me? Because let's be honest, men are stupid. If they're not in control of their lower ends, they will lose their life or take their life under the opposite of getting more access to the what's the word, the poon. You get me? And we don't need more men operating at lower form. So that's pretty much
I
it.
agree. I
Anything else,
agree.
Lena?
Yeah, I wish I would have known. Like, I my previous relation. I know I'm not trying to make it about you. I'm just giving example. Like, I didn't know the signs. Like, I approached it differently because right before he dated me, his last girlfriend cheated on him, and that was the first time that's ever happened to him. So I
Okay.
went through it with him. I was trying to heal. I understood, that's the way he was going to react. But he actually put a tracker in my car. He was tracking me where I'm going, and it never dawned on me. So I detoured one day. There was a festival in a suburb, on my way home, and so they blocked out the streets. And I was going. He's like, "Why are you going down Flossmoor Road? And why are you going here? We don't go that way." I was like, "Oh, there's the such and such." I'm talking, and then I got off the phone. I realized, like, how does he know this? Like, I was like, "Hey, where's going?" He's like, "Oh, I just know these things." And he's a computer um, developer, but he was going for what's that? Computer engineering. So I
Okay.
know he has, those type of capabilities, hack my phone, stuff like that. And I was fine. I was like, I'm not doing anything, so I didn't care really. But it did make me wonder, like, why was he so controlled? He's very controlled. Like, you got to do this certain time, and I understand the house got to be clean. That's a sign of you don't love me. It was really crazy, and I worked 2 jobs, and I was like, oh my God, he is really extra. But I understand it. But he also was cheating though too. They gave him an excuse.
Wow. He was cheating too. I mean, like I said, a lot of controlling dudes, and this applies to women too, but we're not gonna talk about it right now because I'm having the issues right now. But like I said, it does go both ways in certain circumstances. You get me? But that is for going go into this. If you want, stay tight. I'll put you down as I wrap up the show. All right, don't go nowhere. All right. All right. So I'm gonna lower you down and bring you up. All right, later. All right.
Okay.
So stay tight. All right. All right, guys. That's it for today's show. I'm looking forward. Yeah, I know. Wow, isn't it Crimson Cure? Queen of Virtue. Yeah. Follow me on TikTok now, guys, and I put the link to the previous video. So, and that's pretty much it. I'll be looking forward in the comments of this video. As you know, y'all can fast forward this video because there was some tech issues, but nothing too bad. But like always, I hope y'all enjoyed today's stream. Let me see. What say is I will. I'm not sure when the next upload live stream here, but like always, if you want to know, you're going to have to subscribe to this channel. That's the only best bet you're gonna know. Yeah, that's it. All right, guys. Until next time, take care.